Hey everybody, how you doing? I know this is a weird camera angle, but this is hopefully not going to be that long of a video anyway. But I am in the process of cleaning brushes, alright? And so I have all these Michael James Smith beautiful brushes. And I bought them when I was pretty much first in oil painting. Okay, not my acrylics, but when I was doing oil painting, when I started that. And I didn't know the proper care for paintbrushes. I just cleaned them in my mineral spirits and wiped them off and hung them up and all that kind of stuff. But they were getting really bad. This Series 716 was really frayed out. I haven't seen an edge on this brush for over a year and a half. Okay, so I bought some supplies to help see if I can bring my brushes back to life. Alright, and so now it doesn't look clean as in brand new or anything, but I did clean it and I conditioned the hairs, and now that brush is back to its almost the shape that I got when I first bought them. Alright, so what I'm going to show you is what I'm using, and a lot of you are going to know what this is, okay? But alright, so now I'm going to, I have two more brushes that I want to clean of the Michael James Smith brushes. You can kind of see the errant hairs on here right there. This is a rigger brush, and I have done everything possible to try to bring this back into shape, and nothing ever worked. Alright, so I really went at it, and so I went and bought the Masters brush cleaner and Perserver. Okay, and I did this after looking at reviews to see if I was wasting my money. This is this little jar here. What is that? How many ounces is that? I doesn't even have how many ounces are in there. But, oh yeah, it does on the other side. Alright, so this is 2.5 ounces. Alright. 2.5 ounces here in the United States for 16 bucks. Alright. So, did I want to waste $16 on something that wasn't going to work? Well, just like everybody else, I went online to YouTube and found a guy that actually did a YouTube video on it, and he seemed to like it. Problem is, he used acrylic paints. I use oils. Okay, I actually use them all because I do all my block-ins with acrylic, and then I do my final layers in oil. So my brushes are oil messed up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, see if we can get this Series 2 size 2 Michael James Smith brush back to life. See if I can get that point back. Alright, so I got a tub of water. Now the ones that I showed you the first, these Series 7 brushes, alright, I actually had boiling water down in the kitchen. I did this last night. I had boiling water, or not quite boiling, but starting to boil. Really hot water. Hotter water than you can get from the tap. Alright, and so I soaked that brush in there for maybe a minute or so, just to kind of get it heated up, and then I started using the Masters brush cleaner. Alright, now for up here, I'm up in my studio now. I'm not down in my kitchen where I have access to my boiling water, but I just have a tub of room temperature water, and I did some experiments this morning, and they seem to go well. So I'm getting that brush wet, and then I'm going to take the brush, and then I'm going to swirl it in the master's brush cleaner, and I want to see how this is kind of foaming up here. You want to get it to foam. You want to get a lather, all right, and then we're just going around making some swirls in the soap, so to speak, because that's basically what this is a soap and a conditioner. All right, and so you can't really tell. You kind of can a little bit. See how it's discolored, because this is an off-white soap, but it's discolored because it's already taking some of the gunk that's inside the brush, primarily around the ferrule of the brush, and it is breaking that paint apart and cleaning the brush, and I just put it in there. Okay, it wasn't that long, so I get a good lather on it like this, but I feel that it needs a little bit more work, so I basically use the palm of my hand. I mean, it's only soap, it's nothing major, all right, and I just work it a little bit more. I work it up into the ferrule as much as I can, but that's a nice lather. If you're not getting you're going to add a little bit of water to it to even get more, but I know you may not be able to tell on the screen, but that soap is getting dirty. Okay, that means something's coming off, and I'm just going to work that for a while like this, just a little bit. If you're ever bored, want to clean up your brushes, turn on a video or something on the TV, or listen to some music and get your brushes and just kind of do this. All right, so I'm working this and working this and working this. Now, I may not be, I'd probably work it longer, but I don't want to make this video longer than it really has to be. But I'm just taking that brush and I'm working it into that soap, into that lather. Okay, just cleaning that brush up, and yeah, I can see paint coming off already. It's making soap a little bit dirty. All right, so I think I might have enough now, and it's starting to soften the bristles more. It's conditioning those hairs of the brushes. All right, and then I just basically wipe my hand off with a towel, and then I come over to the water and I just rinse that brush in the regular water there. Okay, take that out, and then I just take my hand. Whoop, I still have a little bit of soap on there, but that's all right. I'm actually leaving some soap on there. I kind of leave it on all night, overnight, and then I rinse it off the next morning. But now my brush is back to a point. Okay, and then all you need to do is, before you start painting with it, is rinse it off, give it another rinse off there, and then you can shape the brush up again. Okay, and it brings that brush back to life. Okay, and like I said, I'll probably let this set overnight and then rinse it again in the morning. So let's try it on this rigger brush, this series 1 size 10-0. All right, and those hairs are all over the place. All right, so I'm going to, you can probably hear it on the side, I'm swishing it in water. And then I'm just taking that soap, taking that brush and kind of going around like this in there. I kind of go both ways, because if you go one direction too long, since these are really long hairs, it wants to kind of bend the hairs at the ferrule. So I kind of go both ways on these rigger brushes. Okay. All right. So I got some soap on there, and again I go back to my palm of my hand and just kind of work that soap a little bit. And I can already tell that those hairs are coming back together. And I like to work the ferrule, around the ferrule, because that's where they get clogged up and make the hairs fray more, is when paint gets in the ferrule. Now, nowadays, the way I paint is I don't get any paint near the ferrule anymore, because I've learned my lesson many times, all right? But this is an older brush, and I'm just trying to save some money and see if I can reconstitute that brush. So I'll work around the ferrule, try to clean up some of the stuff that's in the ferrule if I can. Okay, and then we'll just kind of shape it with the crease of my hand like this. Okay, now with the soap on there, it comes back to its original point that you get when you buy it from Michael James Smith. But I'm going to rinse this in water, and I'm going to go ahead and wipe my hand off here, get the soap off my hand there. And so I rinse this off with water, and then I'm going to run that through, and there's no soap on that brush anymore. And we have just brought a Michael James Smith rigger brush back to life. So that makes me really, really happy, because I'm not saying I spent a lot of money, because they're outrageously expensive brushes, but these are high quality brushes, and they come from the United Kingdom, and I don't want to waste that money that I spent. And so I was able to bring this Michael James Smith brush back to life, just like I did with all my others. And then I'll just let this sit overnight, and then I'll rinse it again before I use it. But I have brought many of his brushes back to life. There's another rigger brush right there, and this ivory flat, and this one here is a series 1 size 2. It's back to life. Well, I have to rinse this one off because it's been sitting overnight. But what I really like is that dagger brush. That dagger brush hasn't seen an edge like that in a year and a half, and she's back to good. Okay. So, sorry, Michael. I won't need to order a brush for a while. Doesn't help you out any, but it sure helps me to take care of my investment I made. Yeah. Take care of your brushes. Now that you're learning more about painting through Michael's online school and stuff, let's start taking care of our equipment. And now, this is the Masters brush cleaner and preserver. I got this at Michael's, and like I said, for 16 bucks, but I'm a frequent shopper, so I got 30% off of that, so I didn't actually pay the $16, which is nice. But yeah, you can get the Masters brush cleaner, and there's other stuff out there. I've heard in a video that some people use VO5 hair products, and something called matte clay. Now, I personally haven't used that yet, but I might give it a try and maybe do a video on that. But for now, I started out with the Masters brush cleaner and preserver, and I am very satisfied. Matter of fact, sorry, Michael, look away, because this is not one of your brushes. But this is a Princeton brush that I got at Michael's. It's a Well, what is that? For heaven's sakes. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind, people. I just am. Okay? Anyway, I cleaned this brush yesterday, and this brush hasn't seen an edge in over a year. Yep. And I cleaned a couple other ones that I had, and so they're nice and sharp again. And I got some chisel edge brushes that I got the edge back. You know, I'm going to remember what the name of that brush is when I stop recording. But I'm just having a senior moment right now. But my chisel brushes, they're back to a chisel end. I haven't seen those for a while. And I've been cleaning up some of my round brushes in the Princeton brand as well, and those are coming back to life. But the most important brushes that I wanted to bring back to life were the Michael James Smith brushes, because I love those brushes. Those are my favorites. Okay, so now you know. I showed you how to use it. It's this Masters brush cleaner. Sorry for the cough. Anyway, I hope you liked the video, and we'll see you guys on the next one. See ya.